find out what's in the box that's this time on. I know it's unusual to have an unboxing on the Gadget Griller channel. This really does have something to do with my channel. My camera, I use two cameras. I'm using them both right now. The actual camcorder I have is it's only 4 years old, and I bought it right after I started, they started being able to do HD on YouTube. So I got it to be able to shoot HD stuff and put it up on YouTube. And it had other things too, like it did time lapse and everything like that. There was so much stuff I liked about it. It was you could hook it up to your cell phone, and you could use that as a room monitor and stuff. All that stuff only worked 2 or 3 times, and some of the stuff, like supposedly being able to stream to the internet, never worked. But I enjoyed it. It was a touch screen, which was what I was wanting, because that way you don't have to, push this button here and twirl this thing and all this stuff. It just saw it on the touch screen and you touched it. Well, I remember reading in the reviews that to be careful with it, because if you swung out the little swing out monitor too bad, he said you could break the wire that goes between the touchscreen and the internal organisms, and it would stop working. Well, that's what's happened with mine. The touchscreen no longer works, and it still works as a camera, but I can't change any of the settings. I can't do anything like that, and the light comes on it all the time now. So now the battery lasts about 2/3 as long as it used to, and it's dwindling down faster and faster and faster. So I was looking for a way to looking for a new camera. I'm not going to buy a Panasonic, because that one only lasted 4 years, and when I paid for it, it should have lasted 10. So I have Canon stuff. That's what this camera right here is a Canon, and I found one that I liked a lot. It was called a prosumer, so it was half pro and half consumer. It was a gorgeous camera, but it was 3 times more than anybody should ever spend on a camera like that. I found a refurbed one and was like, wow, and went and checked and was checking all the stuff, and it was a really good price. By the time I got back to buy it, it had been sold. So enter the Smooth Q 3-axis gimbal. This is I'm not even gonna Zhiyun makes this. It's a Chinese company, and the big one on the market is the DJI, which once again is a Chinese company as well. And this was less than half the price and had some really good reviews. So I decided to try it. This is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I wish it was, but it's not. So what we got in the box here? We got actually a case and everything with the actual unit in it. Manual, I'm guessing, and some a strap and a power supply, I'm guessing. So, now, why did I, as I said, my camcorder actually, as I said, it still works, but just you can't change any of the settings on that stuff, and so it's become less and less usable. And so I was looking to buy a nicer one, like I said, a Canon or something, when Trans-Siberian Orchestra came to town, and I went and saw them. Everybody was using their cell phones to videotape what was going on, or sorry, so my age, to record what was going on. So I recently just moved up to the the Note 8 and hadn't really used the camera on it yet, so I pulled it out and was shooting stuff up on the stage and figured out that this has stabilization built in, and it actually had a pretty good zoom. And when I got home, even though the concert and there's lights shining and everything like that and lasers shooting out and in your face and things going on, it really did a really good job of recording just without me even looking at it. So I got to looking and I was thinking, well, I could use one of these. I'd have to get one of those things that I can maybe put it on this and start using this as my straightforward camera, because it actually has two cameras on the back. One that's for the actual recording of the person and one for blurring out the background, so that you get that pretty thing, that bokeh effect. And I'm like, that would be perfect. So I'm trying to figure out how to get it to where I can put it on my little tripod here when I'm reminded of 3-axis gimbals. And I knew about 3-axis gimbals from DJI. I actually bought one of the first very first quadcopters they put out. It's now a very expensive paperweight. It was worthless and should have never been bought. But so I don't really buy anything from DJI anymore. And they make a gimbal like this that was the standard for everybody. Well, these guys supposedly have matched the DJI. Now this is made out of plastic. It's very obviously plastic, but it's got a little bit of heft to it. Feels kind of good. I did a lot of checking, because this is like the longest phone out there, to make sure it would work with this. And apparently, if you can see that, there's a little set screw right there that I can undo and move this out to the end, and that way I can balance with the longer phone. It won't completely balance with it, but it will work. The thing of it is, this has a built-in battery, so I have to charge the battery for 4 hours before I can use it. But just wanted to see what was here. So this is what it looks like. There's a joystick here, four-way joystick, and zoom in, zoom out, or zoom up and zoom down, record buttons, and all kinds of stuff. Everybody that I read saw on this loved it, said it was as good or better than the DJI. And you know what's sad? The thing that sold me on it, I don't know if you can, that little hole right there, that fits a tripod. I could take this and put it on there, and it would work. But I went one step further. But this was $7 on eBay. On Amazon. I expected it to be plastic and half this size. This is complete, all metal that I can tell. And this will screw in to the bottom of this, just like that. And then you've got a sturdy little, it'll work really well. So I'm excited. I gotta go charge this up, and then we'll put it through its paces. Well, that's it for this edition of the Gadget Grill.